Welcome to the Bleed Norwich podcast.
So, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Bleed Norwich podcast. Norwich lost opening day of the season. What's new? What is new? Oliver, how are we, mate?
Doing good. You've just brought my mood down yet again, but doing good. As you say, we're used to it, aren't we? Let's be honest. Everyone expected it, surely.
That's it. No, that's it. Everyone knew it was coming. I mean, we were so optimistic going into that game. I'm pretty sure we both said that this is probably the ideal opening game of the season in the last podcast. I mean, I also said in that podcast that Matai Jurasek was going to be the most improved player this season. He's now on loan we'll get onto that conversation because that is a very interesting story. But yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind of a past few weeks. The two games at the start of the season. Obviously, had MK Dons in the cup. That was an emphatic win, a great performance, wasn't it?
I was going to say, let's start with the positives at the very least. When the world felt like it was fantastic, we'd cruise the championship and we'd be Premier League champions by 28-29. But yes, of course, it is League One opposition. We knew that. It was a very strong team. Fair play to you and Alex. You heeded Clement's words well. I thought he was bluffing. But when we're playing the first team, winning 4-1 in control of the game, the world feels great.
No, that's it. And it was a professional performance. We were 2-0 up within the first 10 minutes. Mo Torre really getting off well to the new season. Shame he couldn't bring that sort of level performance to the West Brom game, but at least he's up and running. He's got a goal to his name. He's got an assist to his name, and a cracking assist and goal it was. A fantastic display, and it looked really positive going into West Brom at home, didn't it?
It really did. You know, when you're starting off the season so well at home, even just, again, so many people dismissive of it because it's lower league opposition, it's a cup game, whatever. I do get that. But to have that atmosphere there, I mean, we'll all know very well what the atmosphere at Carrow Road was like for almost the first 10 weeks of last season. You know, that really started to bring everyone down. Even when we took the lead at games, you know, I remember against Watford, against Leicester, there was just no confidence, you know? And it felt like, well, at least we're kicking off with a really good front foot, dominant performance. Everyone's happy, cheering, celebrating 4 goals. And I'll be honest, it didn't really feel like we lost that at West Brom, but obviously the result was slightly different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like the atmosphere and sort of cohesion is back. I don't think anyone sort of lost their heads too much after Saturday's game. I mean, there is a bit of overreaction online, but that is always going to happen. But yeah, let's get on to Saturday's game.
Yes.
Obviously, we all had our predicted 11s out and stuff like that. When the 11 did come out, was there any surprises to you?
Kellen Fisher, 100%. I thought that, yes, great to see him back, flying into tackles, looking fit, looking healthy, but he had a very broken up sort of pre-season, and I thought that Clement maybe would give him 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Don't get me wrong, if you can get him on the pitch, you do. You know, I like Stacey, but I feel since he's lost a little bit of that pace, his prowess up front hasn't really stayed the same, and defensively he's lost a little bit of that as well. So I was happy to see him in there. It just felt like quite a big risk, and I was just waiting for him to be limping off after 50 minutes. But I did say to you boys, give me a month or two of no injuries and maybe I'll stop worrying about rotation.
That's it. We're probably 2 weeks with no injuries now, which is well,
You know,
feels nice, isn't it?
yeah.
But yeah, no, the Callum Fisher one was certainly interesting. Obviously, I was the only one to have him in my predicted 11 just by chance, really. Just, you know, a bit of a guess. There was a clip of him on social media, I think a day prior to the game, and he was flying into a challenge, looked fit, looked healthy. And I thought that's an indication that he's going to be rushed back into the starting 11.
Absolutely.
Now, in hindsight, do you think he was maybe rushed back a bit too soon into that starting 11?
I do. I'm not going to come down on him like you say, like some people have. I mean, some people it's borderline, let's sell him to Everton for £2 million. But I don't think we're at that point, you know, guys, calm down. But it definitely wasn't his best game. I think we can all accept that, and I'm sure Kellen would as well. He just looked a bit off it. And I think that's, again, with not the fitness, but the match sharpness. You know, I say about worrying about him limping off. I'm more concerned about him not being fully up to speed. And for that second goal, missing the header, not really being able to get back at his man. I mean, don't get me wrong, Darling and Cordoba are then, they're completely at sea. They're almost parallel with each other once the shot comes in. So there are other problems there with it. But at the end of the day, Kellen could have killed that dead by being in the right position, getting to the header first, and then we start another attack. But On the flip side, I think he had something like 4 or 5 shots, something like
Yeah,
that. We
there's
were
five
talking.
shots in the end. Yeah.
There we go. Suddenly we've got a Max Aarons amongst us, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, though, this one can't score.
Yeah, that's becoming quite a theme with Kellen Fisher, and I don't know what needs to happen for him to get his first goal. Because, I mean, if it didn't happen on Saturday, when is it going to happen? Five
Exactly.
shots, and it's not like he was hitting them from 30 yards out. He had a one-on-one header which was brilliantly saved. He had another good chance in the box from memory, and I'm pretty sure the other ones they weren't sort of long-range hitting hopes. They were
No.
fairly good chances, and yeah, it's really bad luck for him because West Brom put on an immense defensive display. I don't think he sort of got any of those shots wrong. They were just brilliantly stopped. That
Definitely.
header that he had, I think he done everything right in terms of going back across the goalkeeper. Max O'Leary just done brilliantly to, I think it was an outstretched hand or leg or something or another. It was a body part. We'll get on to other body parts later with West Brom's goal. Yeah, it's just such a shame for him, isn't it?
It really is, and definitely that movement for that header that he got just outside the 6 yard box. It's brilliant. That's almost like an elite striker, So he's doing all the right things. I think there might be. I know the Ruddy family hasn't been too impressed with their son's treatment at the club recently, which is why he's moved on to Newcastle. And I feel like maybe there's enough curses at Carrow Road, but maybe they've put one in that any opposition goalkeeper coming to Carrow Road just suddenly performs an absolute worldie. We had it last year against Southampton. All right, that one was away, but we also had it when Beadle came to town with Birmingham. Every single opposition goalkeeper just puts in 10 saves every time they come up against us.
Yeah, no, it is a common theme, isn't it? Yeah, James Beadle was one. Even West Brom last season, although it was under Liam Manning, we
Yeah,
dominated that game. I can't remember who was in goal for him. I think it was Joe Wildsmith, I want to say.
think so,
I
yeah.
believe he was in goal, and yeah, he was unbelievable again, and they won 1-0. Josh Madger getting the goal, and yeah, it's a common theme, isn't it? And I like your point of sort of Kellen Fisher's match sharpness because I think that was definitely missing. Although his sort of attacking numbers were quite good in terms of shots he had and sort of the runs he was making in the box and sort of his box crashing ability as well. I thought was
Mm.
quite good. Sort of arriving late at that back post, he's able to do that and. He, the second goal did come from one of his missed chances. It went for a goal kick. Long ball comes over the top. He's missed a head, and it's just a complete mess. And I feel really bad for them. Like you say, there is an overreaction with him online. Obviously, he probably shouldn't have started the game. We had a very settled defence against MK Dons. The goal we conceded was no one's actual fault, really. It was a goal from a corner that it wasn't cleared. It fell down to an MK Dons player. It goes in, okay.
Yeah.
But the majority of that game, the defence was very settled, very well organised, commanding, didn't concede a lot of chances. And then obviously Fisher is our best right back, but just to throw him in there without, like you say, a very broken up pre-season over Jack Stacey, who has played the previous game, played against Osasuna as well. He's got 180 minutes in the legs
Yeah,
at least. Yeah,
absolutely.
it did seem a bit of a crazy decision to drop him.
Definitely. I think the positive to try and turn it that way, at the very least for Kellen as well, is seeing this sort of attacking input. Clearly that's been worked on with Clement. Clearly that's what he wants. He wants very high press. He wants us to trap teams right up in their box. And if Kellen is now becoming that sort of style, we've got Youngwork on the other side. Hopefully he'll come up to fitness, played in that internal game on Sunday. I can see something coming together where a lot of pressure is taken off the centre backs. Please make it Rari McConaughey alongside Cordoba. We'll come on to that, I'm sure. By having those fullbacks confident up there, Kellen maybe just needs to swap shooting boots for passing boots and crossing boots and go for the assists, and wait for one to go in off his arse, maybe from a corner.
That's it. That's it. The Harry Darling approach, if you remember his goal against Osasuna, which came off a body
Absolutely.
part. I probably won't mention. We do like to get monetized on these podcasts,
Absolutely.
yeah, let's get on to the rest of the team because I feel like there weren't as many sort of big performers in that game. A lot of sort of mishaps, so to speak, and I think one of them is probably Vladan Kovacevic.
Mm.
Wasn't his greatest game. I don't think in terms of shot stopping. I don't think there's anything he could have done with either goal. The handball. I mean, Christ. And then the second goal was a very well hit strike from Jimmy J. Morgan. But Kovacevic's distribution was something for me that was sort of a clear indicator that it wasn't working, was it?
It definitely wasn't. When you asked me to put together some, ratings for the players, I struggled with him the most because, like you say, his job is keeping goals out. We didn't really face a lot of shots. He couldn't really do anything for the 2 goals, as you say. But then it was like, but I feel like just something's wrong. And definitely seeing, people's reaction and looking back over the highlights for a game where it became very direct for both sides. It was those long balls and the decision making of when the ball was coming back to Vladan, it's like, get out your feet, get it quick. It's something I shout at the telly a lot, shout at Carrow Road a lot. We've for years tried to play out the back under lots of different managers, and the pace just almost isn't there. I want Cordoba sort of style, one touch and straight into Crescent. And it was just missing. It's not something maybe we've seen with Vladan, maybe because we haven't dominated as many matches really until Clement's really started settling this style. Do I think it's disaster zone? Again, we now need to be signing a goalkeeper. Not really. I still rate him as a fantastic shot stopper, but it's something to keep an eye on, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure the goalkeeping department will probably work on that with him because I think that's something that we have seen is drastic change in terms of progression in Kovacevic's ability. And that's due to the new goalkeeping department with Declan Rudd and co. And I think that will be worked on and those issues will be ironed out. But yeah, it was something that was sort of a clear indication that just wasn't working, those sort of direct long balls and actually keeping possession afterwards and not losing it. We could have created a host more goal scoring opportunities had we been able to get those long balls right. Let's move on we'll start on the left hand side of the fence because I think they didn't have any issues in terms of Jose Cordoba and Ben Crescene. Ben Crescene, I think, is going to be very hard to remove from the starting 11 if he keeps fit. I think Darlin Young was going to have a real task on his hands to get Ben Crescene off that left back role because I think Crescene's probably been one of our best performers. Cordoba, again, pretty much faultless, maybe a bit for the second goal, but I think that's more down to the right hand side of the defence personally. But what do you make of them two?
Very happy with Chrisen. I think I've slandered him enough, saying that for me, he's a 3-star only player. He's rotation at best. Hopefully he's not hearing it, and that's why he's getting so aggy with it. But his overlap was fantastic, even the underlap as well. While there was struggles when we move a bit further up the pitch with Mr. Paris, for example, their communication was brilliant and their work rate was brilliant together. Chrisen, very happy with that and really great to see him stepping up the levels. Remember, a player we only bought for 1.1 million as well. Great bit of business it's looking like now. Cordoba, I think yet again he had the most touches or the most passes in the game out of anyone on the pitch. It's one of the two. He seems to be doing that. He did it a lot in the World Cup for Panama. He's done it a lot for us in the last season. He's becoming a real focal point. You were talking in our sort of preview of the season about waiting for Bruno Alves to start pinging crossfield balls. Jose's already doing it. So he's got a great man to learn off of. They are as settled as you possibly can on that left side.
No, absolutely. And I think that is a positive going into Saturday's game against Millwall, bearing in mind we don't have any injuries during training. But Cordoba and Crescene seem to have that left-hand side unlocked. And it's really good that there's also competition there. Like you said, Bruno Alves, he's going to provide that competition for Jose Cordoba. Darlin Yongwa is going to provide that competition for Crescene. And it's just going to enhance everyone's game in that area, which is fantastic. 100%. Let's move on to the right hand side of the fence. Obviously, we spoke about Fisher, so we'll leave Fisher alone now. Bless him. I feel really bad for him, and I think he's still going to start against Millwall, and I think he still should because he's still our best right back and a cracking player. Harry Darling had a really good pre-season. Thought he played well against MK Dons. Done the job. Scored against Osasuna in the last pre-season game, and then. He wasn't dreadful this game, but it was just that second goal.
That's what kills it, doesn't it? I think it's the way he handles it. I know and have had the joy of watching McConneville play really ever since those sort of QPR and the Oxford games when Clement came in and finally he was given faith. This man that we bought for £6 million and barely seen. And he is so perfect at dealing with that sort of situation. You almost know that it's kind of like I don't want to go crazy with this, but like a Van Dijk of Liverpool of old. He's not really going to get dribbled past. And I feel like that was where Darling went completely wrong. Kellen's dived in recovery, totally get that. We'll leave him alone. But at that point, I think Rarari he either shepherds Jimmy J out wide or he waits for the perfect moment and steals it off him. And I just watched Harry kind of get stuck between doing both. And as I say, we could mention Cordoba being out of position, but ultimately he's come across to not only bail out his right back, but also his fellow centre back. So I can't blame him too much. It just felt like Harry was completely lost at sea. And if we're going to play these high wing backs and, want Pell Matson to bomb on and Kenny to really push on as well, we need a centre back pairing that can deal with quick, fast, direct counter attacks. It worries me that that's maybe not quite where Harry suits.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think McConville, like you say, is probably that ideal suitor for that role. And it's sort of very strange to me. I mean, I can see the argument that Harry Darling's had a good preseason, deserves to start the season, but
Yeah.
with that mistake and with in mind that teams that we are going to be playing, we want to dominate them, and but they're going to be very, very good opponents, especially this season. Look at Millwall and Burnley; they're going to be very difficult to stop on counter attacks if we do want to dominate those games. McConville has to start next game.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any question about it. It's sad on Harry Darling's part, but that's part and parcel of football. If you make a mistake and it leads to a goal, more than likely you're looking to be dropped for the next match, and that's just part and parcel of the game.
Definitely. I think it's one of those things, he fits a perfect situation like Bruno Alves does. You're a brilliant squad player. He's clearly a great character, but you are the rotational option. Rurari's there for probably the majority of the games. But when we're playing the likes of maybe a Bolton or whichever teams end up struggling, I should say, as we get into the season, bring Harry in, rest those legs, keep a nice fresh back four, let these players gel with each other. So I don't bemoan it too much, but it does feel like it's a game that, well, you get rid of a particular officiating mess up and you also deal with that goal better. Suddenly we win with a 1-0 Kvisgaarden header at the death.
Yeah, let's touch on that first West Brom goal whilst we're talking on the defensive issues.
We're skirting around it, but we've done well to,
How long we've managed to skirt around it for about 10 minutes, which I think that's really impressive. That's really impressive. But let's touch on it. How on earth, how on earth has that not been spotted?
Now, don't kill me just yet, but the comments definitely will. I have seen about when I was on lunch this afternoon. I have seen one angle that is from the lino side, and in real time, because his body is very tucked up, it does look like it could have been ahead at full speed. Right now, I don't want to be the person to defend a lino. I've rarely ever done that in my Sunday League career, but it's just one of those ones where it feels like both the lino and the ref have bottled it. I think, especially from listening to fans who were in the stadium, it took a while for the decision to be made. The ref didn't immediately point to a free kick. He didn't immediately point for a goal, and neither did the lino. They kind of just looked at each other, and we're used to this, aren't we? And I feel like they just went the route of it's hard to go and rule out the opening goal when we're not really 100% sure what happened. But it does worry me at the end of the day when you take that screenshot of the most obvious Superman punch into the goal. It wasn't quite hand of God. At least Maradona was a little bit sly with it. How on earth have we got officials who can't see that? Is scary.
Yeah, it's quite damning, isn't it? But I would still take a decision like that going against us than having VAR in the Championship, because those decisions also go for us. We look at McCarthy's one last season against Southampton. We were all celebrating that. So yeah, when you get them against you, you just kind of have to take it on the chin. It is hard to, and it is mental that officials do keep missing these. I mean, understandable. I do know that angle that you've seen it from, and it does catch the linesman on the blind side. But even between the linesman and the referee, they should be in a position that one of them can clear. Like he Superman punched it in the goal, like you say. It's not like it's really close to like the sleeve line or something. Like he is Superman punched it into the goal. That should be. These officials are well trained to deal with those situations and be able to spot them. And it's quite frustrating that they didn't. But it's one of those. It's not going to be overturned now, is it? So.
No, far from, if only. But it's like you say, you bring up McCarthy. And of course, plenty of Southampton fans have rejoiced in this goal going in. And I too get it. But I could still kind of reasonably fight a case for that coming off of McCarthy's thigh. Do you know what I mean? It was at least a little bit sly. This one, you can see why it has exploded all over, lots of mass media to rightly so talk about it. And of course, as you say, VAR's come up. Now, I'm with everyone. VAR as football does it. I'm not interested. I don't like it in the Prem. I don't want it in the Championship. It's a mess. They probably still would have waited 10 minutes and got it wrong again anyway. So, not interested in that. Video assistant referee in other sports, rugby, cricket, the ones that I also love to watch. If we just did it very simple, in a situation like that, it should be so simple for a referee to turn around and go, I didn't quite see that. Give me 30 seconds. Instantly, it's cleared up. Unfortunately, the complexity of how VAR's done, yeah, rightly so. No one likes it, including yourself and including me.
I did see something online, and this does intrigue me, but I've seen it happen in the third division of Italy, and it is quite horrendous. But it's where you get a certain amount of appeals per game that you can appeal for VAR, like three
Okay.
appeals per game. And you give them to the manager. If the manager, see, Clement knew that went in off his hand. If he
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
"Okay, I appealed this decision to go to VAR," and then obviously it gets overturned, would that be something of interest or absolutely not again?
I mean, it just feels like it's always kind of overcomplicating the wheel. I feel like when VAR was starting, and I love that we're on literally the first week of the season. VAR's already out for the Championship. Love it. And of course, Norwich had to be involved. But when it first became a thing that it was going to come into the Prem, it was going to be tested. For me, I thought it was going to be exactly what I've watched for years, watching international and club rugby. You have a fifth official there, with all the cameras, and the referee can just use them for any decision when they want. And I just feel that it's quicker, it's smoother, it's a lot easier. Clement getting three appeals, yeah, maybe. But then you run the course of, because we see it all the time, the guys have, the analysts have iPads on the side, don't they? So they get to play these things back almost
They see all the
live.
replays, and the fourth official
Exactly.
is going to be stood right next to them,
Yeah.
and he's going to be looking over and just that. And he's going to have to take the brunt of it as well.
Absolutely. I just think it's such a hard thing to manage. It already takes so much time. It's almost scrap it, rework it, and just do it the way people who know how to do it already do it, or just, like you say, you take it on the chin. We'll probably get another one at some point. Que sera.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, it's just one of those decisions you just got to take on the chin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair play to West Brom fans. We'd be
Yeah.
celebrating if it was our case. It's not. It's unfortunate. It happens. But it should never be. It should never be happening. I think is our case.
No.
The officials should be seeing that. It's
Yeah.
it's just daylight. It's so Superman punished it. I still can't get over it. But let's move on to the rest of the team. I think we're on to the
Of course.
midfield two next.
Yes.
Matson and McLean. It wasn't their best game, was it?
It wasn't. I thought Kenny at least shined himself in a bit of glory, mainly sort of supporting the centre backs when needed, playing that quarterback role. Because as soon as he noticed the game was getting a bit more direct, where there was holes, he was charging into them. But when needed, dropping off, just taking the ball off of Harry Darling, really, and then finding the forward pass. Pell is a compelling one. I agree with everyone. It definitely wasn't his best game, but it was almost like Pell Matson under Liam Manning. Like he became a headless chicken again. He was chasing everything, silly little fouls because he was second to the ball, and we didn't see Pell Matson of old. I don't know if that's because of the style that West Brom went with. They were very intensive on fouling, and clearly the ref was very whistle happy. But they played into it very well. It's like they did well to disturb Pell Matson and Kenny really clicking almost.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought up sort of Manning's Matson because it was very much like that, and I do agree. And I believe he didn't even get booked, did he?
No, no,
And
not at all.
every time I looked at the screen, he's committed another foul. He's committed another
Yeah,
foul. It was a bit. It was very much the Matson of old. For me, I think it's more because he obviously came back in for the MK Dons game, but did have a slight injury beforehand.
yeah,
And again, that sort of broken pre-season a little bit. I think he's still, again, just coming up to match sharpness, not necessarily fitness. He's still
yeah,
running around and committing fouls.
definitely.
It's just getting that sharpness back into him, and that's going to happen with the majority of the squad as well. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take 3 to 4 games to be able to get back to the level that they were on the back end of last season. I think Matson is going to be one of those players, but when he's back firing, we'll be
Right off to
laughing.
the races.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you say, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it for many clubs in the Championship. It's the opening game weekend. No one should lose their nut. I remember saying it to some people because I got my prediction for the Wolves Blackburn game completely wrong, which people love. I do love it on prediction clips that people love to predict once the game's done. But anyway, of course you get stick because I said Wolves would comfortably win 3-0. But just because it was a 2-2 draw, that does not mean that Wolves are getting relegated to League One and Blackburn are winning the title. It's one game week.
That's
We're
it.
all finding out, aren't we?
That's it.
We'll move on.
That's it. The league isn't won or lost on the first game of the season. Let's move over to the left-hand side
Okay.
of Paris Magoma, because I think that was, again, probably another one of the sort of interesting choices into the lineup. I wasn't, by all means, I wasn't against it. I like Paris Magoma, I like what he offers. He can take on his man. He's very skillful, not the quickest, and that doesn't help when you're on the left-hand side on the left wing. But yeah, what did you make of his performance?
I enjoy watching him. He's one of those players who absolutely gets himself on the ball and you get out of your seat. Like you say, not just willing to take people on, but he will clip it round people, flick it through the legs. The problem is watching Oscar against MK Dons and also watching Paris against West Brom. When you're watching them both try and play the left wing, and then you've got Andre on the other side, similar quality in terms of being able to get round their man, a little bit of trickery, etc., etc. But Andre flicks it past the player and boom, he's gone. He's onto the ball, he's in space, and you can see their defence turn their back. With Oscar and with Paris, like you say, they don't have the pace. This is why I insist they're not wingers. They shouldn't be out there.
Agreed.
You're not seeing the best of them because when Paris does that sort of trickery 15 yards out, he lets a shot out, even 20 yards out. He works himself into space and he's good. He's got so much work to do out there. So I enjoyed it, but yeah, just missing a little touch of something.
Yeah, it did sort of seem like he was sort of waiting to take that player on, and by the time he's waiting for so long, he's doubled up on, and he's trying to use them skills and flicks. Sometimes it will work off, but the majority of times it wouldn't. But fingers crossed, the left winger situation in the next few days should be all sorted. Given that Foot Mob is wrong and the signing in question does not have a muscular injury. But
God forbid.
it's, fingers crossed that is all sorted by the weekend. I don't think the new signing would start, but
No.
we'll have to see. But at least there's something coming through the door. Well, Diallo. Well, let's actually, as we're on the left hand side, Diallo came back and looked good. Looked really good, and it was
Out of nowhere as well.
yeah. He didn't sort of get embedded in sort of in the MK Dons game, straight into the West Brom game. Bring him on, and
Why not?
he looked lively. He looked good. He looked sharp, and it's so good to see him back. And you can finally tell all your viewers, Oliver, over on your TikTok that Diallo is now back. You don't have to sort of keep sort of ignoring that question and try avoid it.
Exactly. It's one of those things. I was doing a live watch along and I had to double check the bloody subs bench about 4 or 5 times because everyone was like, hang on, is Diallo playing? I was like, what? No. Oh, no, he is actually on the bench. Oh, that's how you spell his name. I nearly forgot. Yeah, we've got Big Papa back. So immediately, he comes on and there you go. The missing piece of the pace is immediately solved. Suddenly that West Brom right side is not getting, like you say, as much joy. They can't double up on the players. They've got to really pay attention. Again, just a bit of match sharpness missing. A couple balls that were overrun, a couple times he's run up a bit of a garden path rather than releasing it. But he was the one, I believe, who stuck the ball in for Jacob Wright's shot to then be saved and then be nodded in by Kavisgarden. So, yeah, a semi-assist, that's what I call those. But I think get him fit, get Mr. New Man in, which I'm sure we'll talk about once we're done with West Brom. That alongside Andre Brooks and maybe an Ante Cernak on the right-hand side, and suddenly we won't have to worry too much about wingers.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably. I really hope we see Diallo start on Saturday against Millwall. Yeah. Him and Brooks on either flank. Magoma, Slimani, Schwartau in the 10. Don't care who. They're all fucking brilliant.
100%.
Torre in the 9. I think we could create just cause carnage. God, I'm excited again. I'm excited. I've got myself positive again. It's only taken
Here you go.
2 days. Oh, I love it. Let's talk about Slimani. I don't think there's really a lot to talk about with Slimani. He didn't do enough, didn't do a lot.
Anas Ben Slimani showed me why I'm not, I don't want to bully him, but he is third on my pecking list. He's a brilliant player. He's fantastic attitude. Again, you can tell a brilliant leading character in that dressing room, but he's not Oscar. He's not Paris. Anis seems to just be able to force a goal and force an assist every man again just through sheer energy. Whereas Oscar and Paris, you expect it. It's a bit more excitement when they get on the ball. That's all that was. He was great in the press, but not really a lot coming from it. For me, like you say, Diallo on one side, Andre on the other. Very excited by that. Then you can release our star boy and Oscar into the middle as well, and just take a little bit of pressure. Anis should be coming on with 20, 30 minutes left, and we're 2 goals to the good. That's still my opinion.
Exactly, and with his sort of pressing ability, like you say, he's very good at pressing against tired legs with 20, 30 minutes to go, and he's got fresh legs. That's food for thought, isn't it?
100%. That's what we want. That's what we want to see.
Andre Brooks on the right.
Love him.
Look good. Again, it was done exactly what he was supposed to, just didn't score. That one big chance he had, which is infuriating. But, this is the thing. I'm really not... I don't think there's any cause for concern for Saturday's game. I know we lost, but the chances we created, if we create them in another game, we're scoring 4 or 5.
100%. That first half you played it not even 10 times, just 3 or 4 times. We're 2 or 3 to the good by half time. Game's done. West Brom haven't got an idea. Their game plan's shot to pieces. They can't just sit back. Do you know what I mean? Cordoba could have easily had one. Andre, as you say, in the second half. I mean, Nat Phillips, he hasn't got a clue how he's blocked that, even to this day. I did say on X that, if that was Toure in that position, he does score that 9 times out of 10. But Andre, borderline perfect, yet again. If he had got himself a goal, got himself an assist, then I don't think many people argue with that statement. He just excites me. He's the one thing that we've missed in the past couple of seasons, really, probably since Borja Signs, peak Borja Signs, a winger who can make things happen.
And then I think we can replicate that on the left-hand side with Diallo and Mr. New signing.
Absolutely.
It's getting exciting now, isn't it? It's getting exciting. And then Mo Toure up front wasn't his best game. Was lacking a bit of sharpness. Obviously, was away for the World Cup. Only recently came back, made his first sort of minutes against Osasuna, then Cambridge. Scored and got an assist against MK Dons, but they play such a high line, it was almost impossible for him not to be able to get amongst the goals in that game. But against West Brom, he wasn't as lucky, was he?
Not quite. He is a brilliant player. He's a very raw talent, and he's a beast of a goal machine. I mean, the fact that even going out of MK Dons, he was still holding a 46 minutes for every goal or assist. People, I think, forget how obscene that actually is. These are, whatever league you're still talking, these are Messi, Ronaldo levels, right? That was always going to come to a bit of an end. Obviously it's come down a little bit now after the weekend. I think it highlights for me why a lot of the summer I was having a lot of conversations. I know you did as well, of who do we start, Makama versus Toure. This is why a lot of people were saying Makama. He's just a little bit more ahead of that development. He's a little bit more up there with the mental side of the game, of when you are struggling to get on the ball, when to come deep, when not. Toure's got all of the same physical characteristics, and when he lets one go, unless the goalkeeper wants to break his wrist, then he's not getting it, right? But I just think Toure would be a lot better when he's coming on for half an hour, 40 minutes. Makama's already done a bit of damage, set the field out quite nicely. Looking forward to Makama coming back, but no, not bemoaning Toure at all. It's just, he's a little bit raw still.
No, I agree. Yeah, massively agree. I think, he's still young. We only signed him in January from Randers, a Danish Super League team that are very much a mid-table side. He's got all the attributes to become a top player, but that's not going to happen overnight. And the fact is, I think with his goal record and sort of his goal contribution record in terms of how many minutes he's played, I think it's got people a bit ahead of themselves. We've got to cut Toure a bit of slack, get that pressure off him, and just let him do his thing. That will come. A hat-trick against Millwall, everyone's laughing again. Who knows?
Exactly.
Please hope these don't get clipped up anymore. It's painful that I'm remembering that I said Jurasek, is going to be our most improved player, and oh my word, right. Anyway, let's talk transfers.
Absolutely.
We've done on the West Brom game. We lost 2-1. The hand of HEGGEBØ.
That's
Is
what
what
it'll
it
go
is.
down as. There you go. That is the chapter in Norwich's history, the hand of HEGGEBØ. I like that. That sums it up nicely.
There we go. And on to the next, Millwall away. But first,
Yes.
bit of transfer news. Bit of
Mm.
transfer news.
How is your
And
friend Mattia?
yeah, should we start with that? Should
Let's
we
get that
start
one
with
out of the
that?
way.
Because that is an interesting story. So let's talk about Mataj Juresek's sort of career so far. Came through was it Slavia Prague, wasn't it? Slavia
Yes.
Prague.
Let's not get that the wrong way round.
Yeah, let's get that right from the came through Slavia Prague. Came through their youth system, played in the first team, and I believe he has said he hopes Sparta die. Sparta Prague, as in their main rivals, as in
Yeah.
Norwich, Ipswich sort of levels, but probably higher because European football and especially that side of European football, they take it a lot more seriously. I want to say, and I thought Mataj Jurasek, he's got in the right positions over pre-season. Clement rates him still. All of a
Absolutely.
sudden, he's loaned out to is that Sparta Prague? The
Yeah.
main rivals of Slavia Prague.
Oh God, he's had a great decision there. His agent must be on way too much money. It's like you say as well. It's a good idea to compare it to Norwich and Ipswich, and of course, many have already compared it to a certain rat down south. The one thing I would say, Prague is quite a small city, and these two teams are quite close to each other. So if you want to imagine Ipswich almost being about where Chapelfield is, that is what he is now contending with. He is a Prague-born boy as well, so I think this is going to be a good, fun period for his family, bless him. But yeah, the videos have been quite a hard watch if you care for Eurosik's mental health, which of course we all do. It's going to be a tough convincing. He's done heartfelt apologies on the pitch. The manager is begging for the Sparta fans to take him in. But yeah, as you say, in no uncertain words, he said some quite interesting things about Sparta during his time at Slavia.
Yeah, and the fans have certainly made their voices known. They've completely rejected him as a player, I believe.
Pretty
And
much,
the comments on sort of Sparta's announcement of the signing is scary. It is
yeah.
super scary. Yeah, I really feel for the bloke. Really feel for him. It's hard. And like I say, his agent must be clueless on way too much money. And
Something.
just he like Jurasek must have done something to him in a past life for him to sort of get the transfer moves he has and everything that's sort of gone with it. It's nuts, isn't it?
I mean, God knows what Arsenal teach their up and coming staff. Because obviously, we have the joys of Ben Napper, and that is more joyous now. I think now he's realised and had a bit of self awareness of what he can and can't do. Now we get to enjoy the negotiation and leave the team to Clement. Great. But Thomas Rosicky, what on earth he was thinking? He fits our mould perfectly. He's a talented young player. It's like he's literally played about 36 minutes in the last 2 years. But okay, Thomas. And I think we discussed it as well. Like, it happened all so quickly. I don't think there was a lot of consulting with the manager.
Yeah.
Definitely no consulting with the fan base on whether or not you want Mataj Jurasik to come and join the team. But I think it would be fair to say, if anyone wants an easy bet in life, and I'm not offering financial advice, Jurasik returning to Norwich next summer is probably about as nailed on as you can get.
Yeah, agreed. Jurasek to return to Norwich by January.
That's got to be 1-1.
Yeah, that's evens right now. That's mental. Anyway, should we talk
my God.
about some better news about Norwich?
Absolutely.
Signing a left winger.
By God, you never thought it would have happened.
Honestly, I'm so happy, and it's not a name that any of us would have thought, but it's a name that I'm very happy with. Signing on a season-long loan is going to be Anthony Musaba. You might recognise the name. That's correct. He did play in the Championship a couple of seasons for Sheffield Wednesday when they had money and had access to good quality players. Anthony Musaba was on their books, and he brought us some good numbers for them, didn't he?
He did, just a bit. I mean, firstly, as well, signing a player who's already got decent championship experience is fantastic. Had a brief spell with Phil Clement as well at Monaco, although it has been made clear he did spend most of that on loan, but I'm sure Phil gives him the seal of approval, knows his character, etc., etc. And the big thing for me, which I spoke about over on TikTok earlier this afternoon, pace. Pace, pace, pace. The big thing that we've spoken about missing for a long time on that left-hand side, he is going to bring it in buckets.
Yeah, I would recommend watching Oliver's TikTok, by the way, because I did watch it. You do have a few highlight reels of him in there, and the
Yeah,
pace is crazy. He is rapid,
absolutely.
and as an eye for a pass and an eye for a goal. So yeah,
Got to be done.
it seems like a no-brainer, right? There's surely no issues with him, is there?
I can hear where your tone's going of like, this is Norwich City and it's transfer business. Something's got to go wrong. Like we touched on very briefly, at the minute, whatever service you use for keeping up to date with players, most of them are saying that he is currently out with a muscular injury. Don't know where he got that one from. It was about 2 weeks after he last played in the Champions League qualifiers, briefly. So whether that's true, whether that's been considered, we'll all hold our breath on that. But he's had a full pre-season. He's played 20, 30 minutes in the Champions League qualifiers for Fenerbahce. So hopefully we will have a fit player ready to go, at least by Burnley.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope that that injury is nothing, and it's because usually like these sites are wrong, aren't they? FootMob,
Yeah.
SofaScore with injuries, they're quite outdated. They currently say that Norwich's only injured player on SofaScore is Mirko Topic. Ali Ahmed fit and ready to go apparently. So
To
expect to
be
see him
fair,
starting.
I think around about Mirko Top's injury, they gave up monitoring Norwich's injuries. It was too all over the place.
It's,
That's the problem there.
it is mental. They finally got Gabe Forsyth off the injury list, which I
My lord,
haven't seen
my
for so
lord.
long. Apparently, he's fit and ready to go as well. So I'd love to see him back in the cup game against Cardiff. I'll be honest, but yeah, no. Let's hope that Anthony Musaba is all raring to go when he comes here. I don't think Clement would have gone out and Napa and co would have gone out and signed someone that has currently got a muscular injury after the nightmares they've probably got from last season.
I mean, dear Lord, you'd hope that lessons had been learned. And so far, it seems they still have. I haven't seen too many worrying signs of hobbling around. But yeah, look, if he wants a ACL to go with that muscular injury, Carrow Road's the place to be.
Exactly, that's it. That's it. If you want a lengthy time on the sideline and a year's worth of holiday, Carrow Road's your place. Carrow Road's your place. The 28 days of holiday rule goes out the window. It's 9 months of holiday, 3 months of rehab, and you're there. But yeah. Anyway, should we preview the Millwall game?
Let's do it. How confident are we going into this one then?
I think we'll win. I
Okay.
do. I don't know what it is. I watched Millwall's game as well over the weekend against Bristol City. And they were really good. That Millwall were really good, and they do have some very good talent. Kyrell Lisby came on for Femi Aziz, who got injured after 20 minutes, which is going to be a huge miss. And Millwall are
Definitely.
sustaining a fair few injuries. Tristan Kramer as well is out injured, and I think that could cost them in this game because I don't think everyone's raving about Bristol City. I just don't see the hype. I really don't. You're signing two League One strikers. Ipswich done that in 18-19 and went down
Exactly.
bottom of the league. So I don't see the hype. I get there were two very well seasoned strikers in League One.
Yeah.
Don Ballard was the top goal scorer. Laurent Tolage had an excellent season as well. But I just don't rate Bristol City. They were down to 10 men after 33 minutes. Didn't look anything worth of anything less than a 2-0 defeat.
Mm.
And Millwall were just able to play them off the park quite easily. And there is just one focal point for them, and that is Josh Coburn, who I think is a
Yeah.
fantastic striker. Scored twice. Yeah, brilliant centre forward. You stop him, you stop wingers, and you stop those balls getting into the box, you beat Millwall.
Definitely. I think I haven't seen the full 90, but watching the highlights, and the problem you have as well, such a silly red card from Bristol City. But from that
It's
point
so
on,
stupid.
exactly. And then it's like, okay, so already the mentality of this team is not quite there. I think that's not unfair for me to say. Lots of silly little mistakes, which you've seen a lot of teams from the highlights I've seen. So many loose passes and this, that, and the other. Players clearly having to still warm up. But at that point, you're then playing just in and around an hour of football with down to 10 men against any side that's going to be difficult. Yes, they came out comfortable winners. As you say, Coburn obviously hitting the ground running. Aziz being injured, huge, such a danger man to now be missing as well. So that absolutely full of confidence. And I think as well, I watched their game against QPR in the EFL Cup the week before. and it wasn't very impressive. Millwall had started to kind of come to life a little bit under Alex O'Neill. They weren't just the sort of bully boys of the league, get the ball, launch it forward, find a way to smash it into the net. And I didn't really see that. It was very bitty. They looked very timid. I mean, it was a penalty shootout that, was probably one of the worst penalty shootouts I've seen in a long time. Fair play to their goalkeeper. So he'll probably have a worldie against us. But
Yeah, it's
beyond
written
that,
now, isn't it?
it is, unfortunately, it is. But I think the big thing that I hang a lot of my hopes on, I feel personally we were in a much worse position, squad-wise, fitness-wise, etc., when we went to the Den last season or, earlier this year as well. And we quite comfortably beat them 2-1, by far the better team. If it wasn't for a goal on the counter by Ivanovic, they wouldn't have had much to say. So for me, I've still got confidence. I'm feeling a 1-1. I'm feeling a draw, personally. But I think I'm just being very conservative now because everything I say seems to be going to pot right now.
Yeah, no, I can understand trying to keep reserved right now after, especially for myself. I should really take a look in the mirror because I've already put out some horrendous shouts this season. 2-1 Norwich win. I'm going to say it.
Why
I'm going
not?
to say it. I think because it's also after you never see Clement lose 2 games in a row.
True, very true. The mentality monster is there.
Exactly, and I feel like he will drill it in.
Yeah.
And like he will not be happy about the wasted opportunities, and he will make sure that the players are up for it on Saturday, and give the travelling fans 3 points to go home with. So
100%. I feel a lot more confident when I see Mr. McConneville's name alongside Cordoba. And like you said, keep the faith in Kellen. I think if that back four is there, we can nullify a lot of Millwall's threat.
and get Diallo out on the left, Brooks on the right.
God.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Those counter-attacks will be scary. I don't know how many goals you want to see while you're there that evening, but it might be a fair few.
Yeah, a bit of Saturday lunchtime entertainment. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
Absolutely.
Norwich City can provide it, and well, hopefully in the right sense, not conceding goals as much, but more scoring goals, getting Paris Magoma to do some tricks and flicks, and Motore to score a handful, and
Yeah.
Andre Brooks just doing what Andre Brooks does. That would be a delight.
Absolutely. I will take it away from you as well. You're beating yourself up a bit about your takes, mainly because of this Eurosic being most improved. And look, he might be out in Prague. You never know. My prediction for my out there shout was that Norwich will have the best home record of the championship season. So we're off to a great start on that as well. So at the minute, I think we both had Makama down as top scorer. So he's probably now going to be injured for the rest of the season. I think we need to be a bit more clever with these.
Yeah, do you know what? I think we might get relegated. There we go. Reverse psychology. Reverse
Absolutely.
psychology. That's what we need. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break here. And after the break, we have got a very special guest coming on who will be introduced, I guess, after the break. So we'll catch you in a second.
Subscribe to Bleed Norwich on YouTube and follow Bleed Norwich on Spotify so you don't miss any of the latest Bleed Norwich content.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to the Bleed Norwich podcast after the break. As you can see, it's not just me and Oliver here now. We've got Ranulph Bacon here. Ranulph is doing a charity bike ride to Millwall away this weekend. Ranulph, tell us all about it.
Okay, I'll tell this story again. It's one I love telling. Once again, Doeke, Oliver, thank you very much for having me on today, lads. So, it all started with an Instagram comment on one of your posts, actually. So, tag a player and say what you do if they reply. And I decided, you know what, Motore is one of my favourite players. I'm going to tag him. And I was feeling kind of bold. I thought to myself, I need something good to look forward to after GCSEs. And then I just decided to say, you know, Mo, if you reply, mate, then I will cycle to the first away game of next season. And I got a reply quite quickly. And the first time I found out that I got a reply, I don't know if it was you or Alex that texted the group chat, but I just saw, get on your bike, mate. So, and from then on, I pretty much just knew exactly what was going on, and I just waited with bated breath to find out where we were going. And to be honest, I'm very happy with Millwall. I'm very happy.
You could have had some stinkers: Cardiff, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Blackburn, Preston. Oh my word, it could have been horrible. But you got very fortunate with Millwall, didn't you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. And frankly, because I've been doing it for Bungay Community Support, which is a very local charity to me. Some amazing things have happened. Like last week, I was invited to the training ground, and not only did I film with BBC Look East, but I got these absolutely gorgeous things here. This is from Torre himself. Hope you guys can see that. Okay, this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, pal. And this is of the whole team, and I'll be getting both of these framed as soon as possible. So now, looking back on it, do I regret making that? Do I regret making that Instagram comment? No, absolutely not, because life just moves so quickly, and I'm grateful for every second.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's not sort of because I was listening to you on Radio Norfolk the other week, and I'm sort of just listening along whilst doing a bit of work, and I'm hearing Bleed Norwich. What? And I was hearing names mentioned. So sorry, hang on, what's going on here? But yeah, no, it's sort of mental how it's all come around from that Instagram post Alex put in the group in our sort of Bleed Norwich group chat at the time, and was like, "Oh, this would be a really cool idea for a post." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that sounds good." I had no idea sort of how it would go, and all of a sudden we're seeing obviously Mo Torre replied to you. We're seeing Makama reply, Topic reply. It's sort of all over the place, and it's sort of crazy how it's how it's all here. How's the sort of the training going for Cycling Millwall, mate?
Well, it's going okay. I mean, I've kind of paused a bit over the last couple of days. I mean, well, this morning I recorded a podcast, which hopefully should be coming out tonight. And the other day, of course, I went down to Cara. Yeah, I should be doing, hopefully, let's say one more training ride. Hopefully tonight, if it's still light. I mean, I have lights, don't worry. But yeah, if not tomorrow, I mean, then again, tonight after this, I've got to practice for a recital, which I'm doing, which is basically, it's not raising money directly for the charity. It's more for just the funding for the trip. It's at St. Mary's Church in Bungay. So, if any of you guys listening are free tomorrow night, in fact, if either of you two are listening, then you guys are more than welcome, of course. But yeah, to answer your question, Doeke, the training is going well, and I do feel very fit.
No, absolutely. But you're not doing it over one day, are you? You're not sort of, it's going to be over a couple of days.
No. So I'm leaving on Thursday early in the morning. The first thing I actually have to do, quite funny, is I have to go and pick up my GCSE results first.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yep. So and then from then on we're heading to Colchester, and that's where we're camping for the first night. And then on the second day we're hoping to get into Greater London, and then on the Saturday we're aiming to get to the Den for 10:30. And our accommodation in London is about 10 miles from the Den. So yeah, it's going to be good. Hopefully it's going to all work out.
Just want to check, you didn't manage to get tickets for Millwall away, right? There we go.
Happy days. Good.
Because obviously, they've lowered the away end count now as well. So it's 2,000 rather than the usual 4,000. And I know it's been quite stressful for some to get tickets. So I would hate it if you've done sort of all this spiking and then just not even getting to the ground. It'd be horrible. But at least you've got tickets.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they did sell out quickly. Then again, we always do sell out that away end quick. But, I'm pretty sure that my mum, God bless Daniel Holker, I'm pretty sure that he is sorting my mum, my brother and my cousin out. So, yeah, they'll all be fine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Fantastic.
That's wonderful. Are you cycling by yourself, or are you going with someone?
Well, actually, so I'm going to be starting on my own. My mum is going to be driving a support car ahead of me at all times. And then I think when I sort of get into the Greater London area, my cousin, Barnaby, is going to be joining me. So I'm not on my own the whole time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, because I mean, I can imagine, because you're not. I did hear on Radio Norfolk that you're not doing the main road. You're doing all sort of off the beaten track sort of thing. So we're getting lost on those back roads across Suffolk would be a horrible situation to be in.
Yes.
I did wonder how the M11 was going to go, to be fair, but at least you're circumnavigating that one.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's
too careful.
Yeah, it'd be a horrible road to cycle on. Are you cycling past a place that isn't very nice in, about 40 miles south of Norwich. Are you cycling anywhere near
Um,
that?
well, I to be fair, I am going to which is relatively close to Switch. But no, I shouldn't be going through there. And if I do have to go through there, and I'm happy to find a way around, honestly.
That's it. Might have to just bring one of them COVID masks back out just to cover your nostrils in that area. I heard it does have
God.
a horrible stench over there.
Yeah, exactly. And that, the most infectious thing that they've got around there, it's not diseases or anything, it's just delusion.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
all these
that's
Ipswich fans, honestly, saying, "Oh, we've signed Julio Enciso. We're going to stay up. We're going to finish 15th." It's
yeah,
ridiculous. They're honestly, Gary O'Neill. He's a Norwich legend. He's just got to do the job.
that's it. He wore the armband once. He'll wear that sort of that armband with pride once again when he gets
Yeah,
welcomed back into the city after relegating Ipswich with that record low points number. So
come on.
that's the hope. But Ranulph, where so obviously you're doing this for charity. Where can people sort of donate if they can, or where can they do it?
Well, it's a GoFundMe page, and it's basically. In fact, I could probably pull it up now. Actually, I've got my phone here, so I
We'll
did
leave a
it.
link in the description as
Yeah,
well, obviously. So
God bless. Thanks, Doeke. That would be fantastic. And you guys have already done some great promotion for it as it is. We're getting. I've got quite a few donations today alone, actually. So yeah, if you just type into GoFundMe, help Bungay community support, stay in Bungay. We are currently at £1,210, which is fantastic, and we're really really close to the 2,000 target, which is the minimum. We've been hoping to raise. So yeah, honestly, huge thank you to everyone who has donated. If you would like to contribute, just type in Bungay Community Support, help Bungay Community Support, stay in Bungay, or click the link in the description below. Either works.
there we go. And yeah, we'll leave this link in the description and stuff like that because yeah, it's a wonderful cause and it's all crazy how this has come about from a Bleed Norwich comment section on a post. It's still mental to me. I'm so glad it's happening. And obviously you went on. You're going to be on BBC Look East. Has that come out yet, or is that coming out sort of over the weekend?
I found out today that is going up on air tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Yep.
So this is coming out Tuesday 10 a.m., which is tomorrow. We're filming this on a Monday. So
Hey.
if you are listening to this Tuesday morning before your dinner, make sure to go tune in, and obviously you'll hear all about it, and you'll that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, Randolph, let's touch on the weekend's game. What were your thoughts on it?
Okay, well, I mean, I shared plenty of my thoughts this morning when I was recording with Daniel, so I'll pretty much just say most of the same things. I don't think we were clinical enough, frankly. I thought that Torre had a frustrating game in front of goal, but I thought his chance creation though, I thought that was probably where he was strongest though, because he was making plenty of chances for his teammates that unfortunately we just weren't taking really. I thought Anis Ben Slimani and Pelle Matson, I thought they looked a bit, should I say, off colour, compared to the levels that we're getting to last season. To be honest, I can probably understand, start of the season, getting straight off with pre-season. It's frustrating, really. But yeah, the midfields just didn't create enough. West Brom, I was noticing them just getting the edge. They just had a midfield edge the whole time. Few positive, also Kellen Fisher, I thought he was poor, which is sad to say. I think the high rating he got was just based on his work ethic alone, because he was working so hard to get us that equaliser. But it's the one attribute that he lacks in, which is his end product, that cost us, to be honest. And to be honest, the most amount of chances we've created from that game should not have been coming from our right back, frankly. A few positives. Jose Cordoba, I thought he looked good. Oscar Schwartau, I thought he looked bright when he came on. Papa Amadou Diallo, I thought he also looked bright when he came on. Of course, he's had frustrations with injury, but I really hope he can hit the ground running this season. I was very happy to see Matthias Fiskar get on the score sheet. But yeah, overall, no one should be hitting the panic button. Yeah, of course, we've got a big chance to make a statement at the Den at Millwall this weekend. It'll be a very, very tough test, but I'm very glad that we're getting tests like this so early on. And honestly, I'm glad that a result came like that this early on, really, because there are plenty of lessons to learn and there's still a long, long way to go.
No, absolutely. I could have said it better myself, really. Oliver, anything to sort of add on that? I think that was perfectly summed up.
Pretty much spot on. Yeah, I mean, all our ramblings, that was all we needed to say, really. And we didn't even mention Kvisgaard. Absolutely great to see him score.
I say, because we did speak about it in the last podcast that the only thing that was missing from his pre-season was a goal, and he has finally got that. So hopefully that will kick him on into the rest of the season. But as always, we do have loads of questions to get through on the podcast. And as there's 3 of us, it's a perfect opportunity to get through them. So we put out a Instagram story this afternoon because I forgot to do it last night due to work.
I wonder if any of them are going to be about the hand of HEGGEBØ.
I'm trying to think. There is two. There is two, and they're the exact same question. So we'll combine them into one. It's all about VAR. Do you think that VAR should be brought into the Championship? Ranulph, as you're the guest today, let's get on to your thoughts first. Do you think VAR should be brought in?
It's a straight no. No, because the thing is, you should not need to rely on video-assisted refereeing to get a call like that right, frankly. And it genuinely baffles me that some of these linesmen are still able to get such lucrative opportunities at these jobs, because so many times they're just simply unable to do their profession properly. Because I'm being serious here. I'm trying to not to be mean here, but Stevie Wonder and Louis Braille would have spotted that. It's genuinely terrible. And I've seen that sort of goal scored in League Two a couple of years ago in a game between Newport and Walsall, and it got disallowed because the referee listened to the players around him, and it got disallowed, and rightfully so. So, do I think VAR should be added to the Championship? Do I see why people are making that argument? Yes. But do I think it should be added? No, because you should not need VAR to not get something like that wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oliver, what about yourself?
I mentioned it earlier. As say in the current iteration of VAR, I hate it. I hate it in the Prem. Hate it anywhere. Don't want it near the Championship. If you want to do it right, get Hawkeye from the cricket, get them to do it, and you'll get it done. Or, if we can get the big screen fixed, maybe we'll just whack the replay up there and everyone can see it within 30 seconds. That might be a shout.
There we go. Do it like they've done that Sidemen charity match once where Mark Clattenburg was in. He just looked up the screen for the replays and then made his decision from there. I think that's a perfect opportunity. And even if we don't bring in VAR, I think we should use the big screen for that, just to really humble referees when they get a decision like that wrong, just to show the replays of it after they've obviously given a goal like that, and just make them, really sort of take that decision in and take what they've done in, because that like Ranulph said, that absolutely is inexcusable to do at this level. Let's get on to there's a few questions here about Musaba, Anthony Musaba, our new signing, probably from Wednesday. Jay Jones 0.8 has asked thoughts on Musaba. So Oliver, we'll come to you first. What are your thoughts on Musaba?
Excited for it. We mentioned it briefly earlier. Pace. It's massively missing. I love Paris. I love Oscar, but they're not wingers. When we sort of spoke about it earlier, when they get round people, they look a bit lost 30 yards out from goal. So I can't wait to be able to see that. He looks physical. He looks strong. He's Championship proven. Hey, look, I'm totally here for it. Totally sold already.
There we go. Ranulph, what are your thoughts?
As someone who doesn't watch a lot of Fenerbahce or just Turkish football anyway, I can't really make too much of a judgment, but I do think I remember when he was at Wednesday, and I do remember him being quite good, and he has played under Clement before, and that alone has pretty much sold me. So all the best to him, and I'm much looking forward to seeing him in a Norwich shirt.
Absolutely. Lawsy 110919. Hopefully that's not his bank pin. He says Musaba looks good on the ball, but lacks finishing and passing abilities. Is he the right fit? I'm just going to say, watch Oliver's TikTok from this afternoon. Literally highlights how good he is at finishing and passing the ball.
Absolutely. We're getting borderline onto ball striking ability here, which was a bit infamous with a certain Hoff, who's now already scored, I think, 4 up in Scotland. So I don't think we have to worry about finishing. It will be okay. It will be okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty a pretty rogue question, but I think there is sort of some concerns with his numbers out in Turkey, but even they don't look too bad. So, I mean, if you play for Fenerbahce, right, you've got to be pretty good.
Absolutely.
Ranulph, let's come over to you for the next question. This is Stu9678, who I think has lost his head slightly after the West Brom game. Do you think we have a realistic chance of making top 8 this season?
Yes. Oh, poor guy. Honestly, that sort of thing frustrates me. There was this guy in the Barclay behind me. I was quite close to Chris Reeve, and there was this guy who was basically saying after the second goal, "Get Kenny McLean out of the team." I was just thinking, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I do miss being amongst the crowds at football. I really do. I'm really looking forward to going to Millwall on Saturday and just being amongst the crowds and just hearing random people just decide to slag off players who are playing well. Like Torre could score a hat trick and someone will be like, "Oh, better take him off." He should have scored more.
He's got a hair that looks out of place.
That's it. It's it is mental that no, top 8 is definitely realistic this season. That one result should not determine anything. But another day, Norwich should have won that game 5 or 6-0.
100%. West Ham and Wolves drop points. A date doesn't change them being my favourites for top 2. It's as simple as that. It's one game, 45 more to go.
There we go. I think this is Boone.10. Oliver, I'll come to you first about this. How do you think Pelle Matson played versus West Brom?
Again, we sort of mentioned it, didn't we? It felt like a Liam Manning, Pelle Matson, bit of headless chicken. I can't work out whether that was West Brom disrupting him or it just didn't quite click. I think it's an off game, similar to what we were saying about Callum Fisher as well. I'm not panicking about it, but it just definitely wasn't his best game in yellow and green.
There we go. And Ranulph, back over to you. What did you make of Pelle Matson on Saturday?
Well, first of all, Brendan, if you're listening, thank you very much for that question. He's on the group chat. Huge big up to him. He's representing, I guess, the Penn State Canaries, I suppose. Yeah. Honestly, Pelle Matson, I feel like he had an off day, but to be honest, that does not determine what I think of him as a player. I think he's a fantastic player at this level, very composed on the ball. He's much better than that Chilean bloke who plays for Ipswich, that's for sure. I do think that he will once again. He'll find his feet again, and he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Pelle Matson is fine.
Absolutely, and we'll come straight back to you, Ranulph. This is another question where someone has clearly lost their head. I love it when this happens. We lose opening day of the season. It's like the world's ending. It's brilliant. Taylor B.01. Have we had a poor transfer window?
Oh my god. Okay, right. Let's break down this transfer window now. We've done some fairly un-Norwich things. We have come out and said that most of our first team squad is not for sale. We've spent plenty of money. Okay, according to Taylor, poor transfer window. Honestly, it's this is.
But we haven't sold our star player for once. It must be a bad window. Oh my word! No, it's not been a poor window. It's not been a poor. I can't get over people losing their head like this. It's been a very good window. Granted, we're a winger short, but it's just as well. The transfer window is actually still open for another 2 weeks.
Exactly.
It's remarkable. Oliver, what have you made on the transfer window? Has it been poor?
We spoke about this a fortnight ago, and it was very much. I think we both rated it in and around a 7-ish, 8. And if we get a good left winger in, suddenly that goes up to a 9 because we tactically chose where we needed to tweak it. And for once in a long time, we didn't rip our entire squad apart and have to start again under a completely new ethos. Put it this way, if Ali Ahmed doesn't go and snap an ACL, I think we all feel very differently because that one hole is that left wing spot. Suddenly that disappears. What else did we really need? Without selling someone and replacing them, I don't want to keep doing that. We're not... I always say it a lot of time on TikTok lives when I get millions of random comments at me of this player, this player, this player, and it's like, guys, this is not FIFA. You can't just sell every player and build a god squad and it just clicks. That's not how it works. So no, it was a good transfer window. It will be perfect once we get the left wing over.
Do you reckon you guys can all stomach one more head loss comment question?
Why not? We'll lose our head instead.
Archie Mill, have Norwich fans set their expectations too high?
Depends which Norwich fan you're talking about. I mean, some Norwich fans were thinking that we were relegation fodder, borderline bottom half because we've done no one, and some people think we finished first. So first and second, I think a little bit dreamland. But if your expectations were comfortably playoffs with a good chance of winning at Wembley, no. And again, we've got plenty of time to do it.
And I think all of us are in that sort of expectation. Ranulph, are you in that expectation?
I mean, I heard plenty of Sunderland fans saying, let's get carried away last season. I mean, look how they did. I don't think we should get carried away at this stage, but, I do think that we are in very good stead for a very high finish. Could we push for automatics? Maybe. But it just depends on how the wind blows, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think we'll set our expectations high at all if you've expected playoff, as Oliver said. But yeah, I think we have a couple more questions to go through. I think one of these isn't even football related. I just need to find it. Oh my word! There we go. One is about the Motore rumor that got released today.
Yes.
So we'll go on to that. Isaac Delph has asked. Recent rumours circulating saying now Motore is in the firing line to leave. Are you worried with the time still left in the transfer window that both Makama and Torre are linked with moves away? I am not worried one bit personally. What about you guys? Oliver, we'll go to you.
Far from. We discussed the Makam one 2 weeks ago. That disappeared ever so quickly. I think this is usually agent talk. He's obviously gone and signed for a new agent as well. So, some of this talk, I think, is normally just to try and boost the values player, or if there's little contract talks going on in the background, it's to make those go the way they want it. I'd always bear that in mind. I think it's just look at it factually. The way we did it about the Makama to Leeds one, do Leeds really need a Makama? No, the rumour disappears. It's the same for Torre. Yes, I could understand why maybe a Porto would want him. Borja Sainz is not allowed in this county for the next month. And I could also understand why a Hull would want Torre. But it's similar to Kellen Fisher. If Torre moves now, his career is going to stunt for the next 2-3 years. He's not ready to start in those teams yet.
Yeah, Ranulph, what about you? About these Motore rumours? Are you worried? Or
No, I'm not worried at all. I mean, of course, this is based on my own personal experience. When I met Mo last Thursday, I could tell he's a man who wants to be here. He's a man who's, his heart's in the right place. He didn't seem like the type at all who would force a move. Then again, you can't be sure with these players. I mean, a lot of us probably thought that Borja Sainz was the one who was going to leave, but he's the one who left out the front door, and it was Sargent who forced a move. But yeah, I do think that Torre is going to be a Norwich player come September. I'm certain of it.
Right, we do have one more question in from Isaac Delph, who I think I kind of have to ask it because we have so many hysterical football questions so far that I think we need a non-football one to finish on. And he has asked, red or brown sauce on a bacon roll? Ranulph, will go to you first.
Ketchup, any days of the week. Red sauce. Red sauce.
Oliver?
Pre 8 o'clock, brown sauce. Post, red sauce.
I'm a brown sauce man. So it's always brown sauce on a bacon roll, red on a sausage butty. There you go. But yeah, we'll finish up the podcast there. Ranulph, once again, just let the viewers know where they can sort of find your content and then also where they can donate to your charity bike ride to Millwall away this weekend.
So, of course, I need to get back into. I mean, I'm still active on YouTube, but you can find my Instagram. My handle is the Norfolkian 2009. That is TheNorfolkian 2009. No spaces, no capitals. And on TikTok, I've recently started a new TikTok account, and that is called sporty.spotlight 2009, and the title is Sporty Spotlight and Beyond.
Only won Norfolk in 2009, and then you can find my YouTube via my Instagram. And once again, you can go on to GoFundMe. Please just type in "Help Bungay Community Support Stay in Bungay" or click the link in the description below on this podcast. And yeah, that'll take you straight to it. So yeah, that's how you can find my stuff. If you could go and give me a follow, that really, really does help me out. So yeah,
absolutely. Oliver, as well, shout out your TikTok, because that TikTok today on Anthony Musaba has been living in my head rent-free ever since I watched it.
Happy days. Hopefully, he hasn't got you too excited. He'll be injured by December. Oliver Philpott Football. You'll find me on YouTube and over on TikTok, and it's just Oliver Philpott 5 on X.
There we go. And make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Give us a 5-star review. All that good stuff. Follow our socials as well. And all the links for everything that has been mentioned will all be down in the description. It takes one click, one follow. You're done. 2 seconds. So, everyone's got the time. Make sure it gets done. And we'll catch you in the next one.